two types of demand for a roadside breathalyzer. A roadside breathalyzer test is used if an officer either has a reasonable suspicion that there is alcohol in a person's body or as part of a mandatory screening program. If the officer makes a decision to use a roadside breathalyzer, the Supreme Court of Canada has already determined that that demand is only constitutionally valid if two preconditions are met. First of all, the officer has to make the demand immediately upon making the decision to make the demand. And secondly, the test has to be administered immediately after the demand is made. This is regardless of the type of demand that the officer makes. So if the officer is making a mandatory demand, or if the officer is making a demand as a result of having a suspicion that you have alcohol in your body, those tests and demands have to be made immediately. There is one exception in Canadian law to the requirement that the demand be made immediately. That exception is in circumstances related to the reliability of the sample. Because it's important to guard against wrongful arrest and important to protect people from being hauled back to the police station and subjected to further testing, the Supreme Court of Canada determined in a case called Regina and Burnshaw that if the operational requirements of the device necessitate a short delay to allow for the elimination of residual mouth alcohol or proper operational requirements because a person's been smoking or has had objects in their mouth or any other number of factors that can interfere with the test, then the officer can delay the administration of the test. But in those circumstances, the law requires that the officer inform you of the reason for the delay. So they have to explain to you why they're delaying the test. They can't just delay it and leave you wondering what was going on and what would have happened and what you're doing there waiting to conduct this test. So it's always important to look at how long it took the officer from the point at which they decided to make the demand for the sample to the point at which they administered the test, and what occupied that time frame and why the delay existed. There are often problems that can result in these circumstances in a finding that your charter rights were violated and that the test was not taken lawfully. An experienced lawyer can help you identify whether those delays were justified or not justified and whether you might have a defense as a result.